Do you like what Embiid said, or do you have a problem with it?
No, I have a problem with it, Skip. I didn't like it because it comes off as saying, like, Giannis and Jokic aren't worthy adversaries for this award. You mentioned, I mean, he and Giannis have the exact same numbers, basically 30, 11, and 6. I think Giannis is averaging a few more assists than Joel Embiid, but I believe Giannis is a better defender than Joel Embiid, and he shoots a higher percentage from the floor. But Skip, Nikola Jokic is 9th in scoring, 2nd in rebounding, 8th in assists, 1st in PR. He's the only guy that's in the top 10 of those top 3 statistical categories. And as you mentioned earlier in the show, he's doing it without Jamal Murray. He's doing it without Porter Jr. And he's only lost 1.5. He's 1.5 games back as far as record-wise than Joel Embiid.
Yep.
So this notion that, oh, man, I'm so much better than all these guys, this thing should be a no-brainer. Skip, they love Joel Embiid. They love his personality. They love his sense of humor. They love the troll. Joel the troll, and they love him. Skip.
Who's they?
The media. The media loves him. Skip. They love him because
I agree.
He gives them everything. He sit down here, have a conversation.
He will.
He told them what they really thought about Ben Simmons. He's like, I ain't getting paid to babysit. I ain't babysitting no guy, and I'm done with this. So they love him, Skip. But for me, for this notion, Skip, you don't think Michael thought he deserved more? You don't think LeBron think he deserved more? All the great players feel that they should have won more MVPs than what they got. Michael got 5. I guarantee you say he should have won like 8. LeBron has 4. He feels he should have won like 6, have like 6 or 7. That's what the greats do. They're like, well, damn, what have I got to do? Bro, you got 5, you got 6. So I get what Joel Embiid has said. He's had a phenomenal year. But to say if he doesn't win the award, the media hates them, is disrespectful to Giannis and what he's doing. We just saw Giannis go 40 and 40 back-to-back. Basically win the game on one end with a block shot, tie the game, and then take the game over with hit a 3 to send the game to overtime, and then take the game over in overtime. After he followed that up with another 40 and 15 game. So, and Jokic. You just saw him yesterday. 38, 18, and 6, 38, 18, and 7, whatever he had. And he's done that. And I think he's the first guy to have 38, 15 with certain amount of and 65% shooting. Shaq did it, Wilt did it, Jokic did it. So this notion, Joel, that if you don't win this award, they hate you, is being very dismissive of the 3 guys that's in the running with the award with you. They're very deserving. And you know, everybody, all these guys have a case. If I had a vote, I would vote Nikola Jokic.
Okay. I'm obviously a big fan of Joel Embiid, and I'm here to give him my 2 cents worth of advice. This was wrong, wrongest.
And I go help your
wrong
case.
place, wrong time. You cannot bite the hands that have been feeding you.
Yes.
You can't try to shame them into, what more do I have to do? Well, did the season end yesterday?
Exactly.
No, it didn't. You got 4 games left. And by the way, you, Philadelphia, have the 2nd easiest closing schedule because you're at the Pacers, then you're at Toronto. That's your one tough game. But then you come home and play the Pacers again. They're not very good. And you get to end with the Pistons, who played better because Cade Cunningham has started to figure it out. But still, you get them at home to close.
And none of them got bigs.
What I'm saying is it's just like here, here, and here.
Right.
Well, bring it on home, big man.
Right.
Just bring it on home. And you're not out of really changing the top seeds. You're 2.5 games back. You're right now in the 4th spot.
Right.
But the big problem that he faced was, and he's not acknowledging this elephant in the room, which was James Harden.
Came.
Because James Harden came, you didn't have Ben Simmons, and remember, Joel was the betting favorite. He was, I think he was the runaway sort of media speculation favorite. Because he kept Philly at or near the top of the East with no Ben Simmons.
With no one.
The whole year, it was just Joel or bust, basically. And he just saying, watch this, watch this. He stayed healthy. He stayed happy. He was that 7-foot monster that I talk about on both ends of the floor. I thought he was a towering rim protector. So the point is that all of a sudden, if James Harden comes to your team, well, the media's going to say, that guy's the greatest perimeter scorer we've ever seen in the history of this league. You can start arguing Kyrie, but I'm talking about at 6'5", when he's right, he's just impossible. I'm talking about as a perimeter scorer, obviously. He just has like the game on a string. Well, if he becomes your teammate, what's going to happen to your MVP chances? And did they take off and win the next 20 games in a row? They went 13-7 since James joined. it's okay, but it's not great.
Right.
And it's the 8th best record in basketball since James joined. Well, can you sell that to the voters? You can't.
No.
And meanwhile, we all try to end it like a month before the season or 2 months before the season. You're right. Jokic is coming on. Listen, Luka's coming on.
Yes.
He's coming on hard.
Yes.
You know, and you have to start sitting back saying, well, look what they're doing.
And the thing was, if Luka had been, Skip, I believe Luka would have been very, very heavily involved in this discussion had he entered the season in shape. Yep. Skip, the man went hunting yesterday. He's like, give me Giannis on the switch.
He did.
He says, I want Giannis.
That was a big win. That was impressive.
Skip, how many guys you think will go to the pick and roll and says, I want Giannis as my defender? And he says, either I'm going to step back, I'm going to get to the rim, or I'm going to pass over you. But I want you.
Well, can we let this finish before we sit back and say, him?
Yes.
Right?
But I think that's what we should do, Skip. But to say, if I don't win, if they don't like me, it's almost saying, so are you saying like Giannis would not be a deserving candidate? I mean, be deserving of the award? Yoke wouldn't be a deserving of the award after what he's doing, minus his 2 best players?
And by the way, speaking of Giannis, just a couple of days back, I sat and watched the whole game as Embiid played well, but Giannis played sensationally and outplayed Embiid.
Yes, he went 40 and 14 with the block shot at the end of the game.
And the 2 big clutch shots and the 2 big clutch free throws. What? Well, I can't get that out of my head. No. I can't unsee that.
Right. And he's rising up the boards in the betting houses.
Okay. So what are you talking about? What more can I do? Well, you could outplay Giannis last week, or you could bring this home by averaging 50 points a game and win all 4.
He might, but Skip, considering how they call the foul, Skip, he was like 9 of 20 from the field goal, but he was like 17 of 19 from the floor.
Yep.
And I believe, Skip, he probably going to win the scoring title because, as you mentioned, the teams that they play, none of them have bigs. So how do you defend? I mean, there's no Miles Turner. So how do you foul him? He's going to make, like you said, he made 17 or 19. He's going to make a boatload of free throws. So he could easily go, the stat line that he had yesterday, Skip, he could easily average that for the next 4 games.
Okay. So he brought up once again the sort of age-old bromide of media hates players in Philadelphia. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
Dr. J won in Philadelphia, won the MVP.
I think Iverson did.
Iverson won the MVP. I think there was the Warriors when Wilt won it. I think there were the Warriors then. But that was in Philly.
It was in Philly.
Even though the media didn't vote. We got to stop this notion. Bro, if you didn't win, they didn't know how the media hates you. There are probably some players that the media probably would do. They hate voting for, hate their personality, hate the way they're very dismissive of the media. You have to understand, that's what I tell guys all the time. Man, I ain't talking to that guy, you give him your butt to kiss, but you know a lot of these guys that you give him your butt to kiss, they vote for All-Pro, they vote for the Hall of Fame.
They do.
So you want them, you done gave them your butt to kiss for 10, 12, 13 years. Now come, hey, man, hey, you know, I appreciate the job you did. That man's human. That woman's human.
I'm afraid Joel just slammed the door against him.
He slammed the door with his own foot?
Yep, he did, unfortunately.
Well, the local media, guys, is certainly on Joel's side. A great article in the Philly Inquirer today by Keith Pompey advocating for Joel.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.